Carolyn and Salvador originally had a venue picked out. It was an indoor venue, but then the virus came, and they were forced to start searching for outdoor venues. And of course, there was a scramble by everyone getting a wedding, and eventually, Carolyn called me, unsuccessful in finding a venue, and she said, "Dad, I've got a solution." Now, this conversation actually took place. She said, "Dad, I'm okay, it's going to work, we've got a solution." I said, "Carolyn, what's the solution?" She said, "Dad, the wedding starts at 7 p.m. At 4 p.m., you get in your car and you start driving around Salem, looking for a piece of grass."
I think I'll say that.
Well, you said go to Bush Park.
Bush Park.
You said go to Bush Park,
Yes.
see if we can find enough room for 30 people to socially distance. I'll wait by the phone. You call me. I'll call everyone else. We'll tell them to meet you there with chairs. I was dumbfounded by this. I got off the phone.
Carolyn, I'm so proud of you.
I started hyperventilating and my chest started tightening a little bit. I called her back and I said, "We're not going to risk your wedding on my driving around town 3 hours before the wedding."
I was
So,
told that. I
And
sit
so-
at the gazebo at the park, Wilson Park by the Capitol.
yes. And I said, "Try Ankeny and keep looking." And they eventually came here to Ankeny. So I told Carolyn that I would not embarrass her by talking about that time when she disappeared in Santiago for a year. She loved it there. You can ask her about it later. But it's okay. I won't talk about it. But what I do want to say about you, Carolyn, is that your mother and I are very proud of you, and you've brought us great joy in your life. You're everything we could want in a child. You're kind and sweet and empathetic and compassionate and driven and
From my side.
and so we just love everything about you, and you're the daughter that we hope that we would have. And thank you for letting me walk you down the aisle today, because it's the dream of a father to one day get to walk his daughter down the aisle, and you do look absolutely beautiful in your wedding dress today. When I think of you, I've always had one phrase in my mind, that when you were a little girl, when you were a teenager, and even now, you're my sweet, tender-hearted little girl, and you will always be my sweet, tender-hearted little girl, no matter how far into the future we go. When Carolyn was about 4 or 5 years old, she was either inconsolably sad or irrepressibly happy. When she was sad, so very sad as a 4-year-old, her shoulders would rub front forward and her arms would hang. She became boneless.
They still
She
do.
would drop to the floor right where she was, and she would sob. And she couldn't articulate what she was sad about. And you could pick her up and her little limbs would, like a boneless chicken. And you could comfort her, but she couldn't tell you why she was sad. Maybe you remember, and later you can tell us why you were so very sad. When she was, what's that? When she was happy, she was so very happy, and she would sing. And so she sang a lot because she was happy a lot. And I want you to get the picture. One time we were at a swimming pool, public swimming pool, and she was wearing one of those little swimming suits, those one-piece swimming suits that little 5-year-old girls wear, and she popped out of the pool all soaking wet, and she was so happy. She threw her arms out and started singing, "All of me, why not take all of me?" And she sang the whole song. She knew lots of swing tunes, and everybody there knew just how happy she was, and she was very, very happy. Well,
My heart.
another thing that Carolyn would do when she was little was she would play a game we called finger spiders. And she would get her face up to a table, and she would have her fingers like this, and she'd move her fingers very slowly. They were spider legs. And she'd talk to her spider legs. And I mentioned this not because it happened a couple of times, but because it happened for hours on end, for years. And one day a knock came at our front door, and one of the babysitters of Carolyn was there with a terrarium. And in the terrarium was the gift for the spider girl. It was a giant, meat-eating tarantula.
Yes.
It wasn't, oh, isn't that cute? This is spider. No, this is a meat-eating tarantula, this big. So Sal,
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want you to worry. You shouldn't think anything about the fact that Carolyn grew up feeding mice to spiders. It's probably not a concern at all for you. And if in the future you, in the
I'm gonna
night,
start calling
well,
her Coraline.
well, that's because the first few mice, it was too horrible.
Yeah.
So we did switch to crickets, but the mice, it was terrible. But if you, in the night, hear something creeping around or feel something creeping around, it's probably nothing to worry about. Carolyn.
She named the spider Susie. It's
Yeah,
as
these are
if I didn't love her
spiders, these are
before, like I
spider
love her a little more
slaves.
today, right? Right.
Okay, so Carolyn has given a gift to her parents, and the gift to her parents is that she'll hang out with us. And young people, when they grow older, they don't necessarily want to hang out with their parents so much. But Carolyn shares a passion of music as her parents do, and so she will play in our band with us and make us feel like the cool kids at school by hanging out with us, and we really appreciate that. So thanks for letting us feel like the cool kids. So Carolyn, when she was little, would watch a lot of cartoon movies, and she'd watch Cinderella and Shrek, and Beauty and the Beast, which kind of brings me to Sal. So,
Good segue.
Shrek and Beauty and the Beast, right?
intelligent, kind, suave, handsome, humorous, athletic, a born leader. But enough about your father, Salvador. We really should get back to you. I have a couple pages of notes about his exploits and his wonderful traits. But Sal, I just can't read your handwriting, so I'm just going to... So, we knew early on that Sal was going to be perfect for Carolyn and perfect for our family, and here's a couple of the reasons why. I want everybody for just a moment to look at Sal. Just look right, look at his eyes. Just look, is everybody looking at Sal? Look at those beautiful eyes, the strong chin, handsome, his Olympian-esque physique. He's got muscles on top of his other muscles. He's got this V thing going with his lats and his waist. I don't understand. But the point here I'm making, obliquely, is that Sal is one of the most humble people you will ever meet in your life. He never brags about anything, and he has the right, because he's successful in his own right in many ways, in many areas, but he just doesn't brag. He's just not that guy. And I just love that about him, how humble he is. Now, some of you who may not know Sal very well might think that he's kind of a somber, humorless guy, but you'd be wrong. Sal is just hysterically funny, and we in our family have a game night occasionally, and the epically funny things that Sal has said and done, we recount over and over again because they're just that funny. And the next time we have a game night, we'll be talking about things Sal did was so funny 2 years ago. That's the kind of person he is. And his humor is one of my favorite things about him because he makes Carolyn smile. And what
Amen.
more
You're
could a
welcome,
person-
Banana.
What more could a father want for his daughter than a son-in-law who makes his daughter smile? And so that's very special to me. Now, regarding his intelligence, the jury's still out.
Oh, he's smart. He's just quiet.
There was a time, not so very long ago, when he went on an all-day hike up on a mountain with Carolyn. And you'd think a man his age would know, with fair skin, that he should be taking sunscreen and a hat. And he said neither. He came back so burned that he ended up with a trip to the hospital.
It was all lost, so sunscreen was not on our list of priorities. Getting back down off the mountain.
You're so white.
The jury's still out. So he was back from the hospital,
I don't know what happened that day.
and I give him, he got a sunburn, and I gave him a nickname, Taserface.
Laura gave me the nickname.
Well, maybe Laura gave him the nickname Taserface.
She embodied it.
And he accepted that. And in fact, we have Christmas stockings at our house, and my son-in-law Barry, Laura's husband, has a B for Barry on his stocking, and Salvador has a T on his for Taserface. The point of this is that Salvador is not a person who takes himself too seriously. He's wonderfully humble. He's just such a great person. He accepts humor even when it's sort of at his expense, and that just makes him a wonderful guy. Salvador, at this point, I want to officially thank you for coming into our family and welcome you. But the fact is, Salvador has been a part of our family for a very long time now. So, official or not, we love having you in our family. So, I looked up the definition of marriage in the dictionary.
Is this your closing argument?
Your Honor,
I mean, you know.
the hardest part about this thing that I've had to fight is to say, and then he said, comma, because I dictate so much that I dictate my my commas and my periods. And so I didn't want to do that here, and so I had to practice not dictating commas.
He's an attorney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me just say that Salvador, you know that you are lucky to have Carolyn, but I want you to know that our family and Carolyn, we all know that we're lucky to have you.
Yeah.
So I did look up the word marriage in the dictionary, and the dictionary said, marriage is a noun. It means an endless sleepover with your favorite weirdo. And I thought that definition was so perfect for these two. They are in their own way. They're special, funny, little weird senses of humor are perfect for each other. They are a little weird in a weirdly perfect way for each other. So ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, could you please raise your glasses and a toast to the new husband and bride. Here's to a long and wonderful life together. You may now change your Facebook status.
Well done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That about sums it up.